So people often ask me, why did you start catering to Africans in need? Why an NGO? I'm going to tell you a little story. So while I was still a teenager, during my high school years, I used to help out at my family's gift store. And from time to time, I was given the task of hiring applicants for the job of a sales personnel. Now, to get this job, you had to submit your high school diploma, you had to write down 10 qualities of a good sales personnel, and also do well on the interview. But to my dismay, like a lot of applicants couldn't write down 10 qualities of a good sales personnel. And quite a number who could write this down couldn't do it without making grammatical blunders that weren't even pardoned at the primary educational level. So as I tried to reconcile their inability to write, speak, or think coherently during the interview and the testing process, I was really disheartened because I wasn't really aware of this problem. I had attended private schools all my life, and my family members and friends also had attended private schools or high-caliber government or public schools, as you would call it. So I was really oblivious of the injustice being meted to many less privileged students in communities close to me. So I think the most shocking part was looking at the fact that many of these students didn't come from space, or they didn't come from a faraway place. Many of them came from close-by communities. So these people actually lived close to me. And for a long time, after telling people, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't do well on the interview, or you didn't score well on the test, we can't offer you this minimum wage job. And I guess many of them already got inside info that I was daughter to higher authorities, or AKA my mom. And so they expected me to, pitch in a word for them and help them get the job. But I knew I couldn't do that because for the business to function, we actually needed qualified employees. So this experience actually haunted me for a long time. I didn't even talk about it to anyone. And I think in my heart, I already resolved that I was definitely going to do something to address this problem. But then again, fear and procrastination took a better part of me. I'm not as adventurous and bold as Lloyd is. So I kept on pushing this off. And then it wasn't until I was 21 that I actually summoned the courage to start an NGO to address this problem. So yay, great, exciting. Finally, I started this nonprofit. And what was our goal initially? Our goal was to help equip less privileged students in under-resourced public schools with quality education and skills to actually break from the cycle of poverty and develop and actually contribute to the development of their nation. So this is a very nice goal, if you agree with me. It's a little bit lofty. So we decided to take baby steps, started this at a young age, started with friends also who were young. So what we did was we went into our communities, the communities that we were targeting, and we asked them what were the barriers to quality education. So we talked to students, to school officials, to parents, and everyone kept saying the same thing. There's a resource problem, inadequate resources. Okay, fine. So we decided to start a pilot program, started at a small under-resourced public school and asked them for all the resources they needed, and we provided all these resources. So I often tell people it's great for you to have a wonderful idea to want to make impact. It's phenomenal for you to actually do something about it and to implement an intervention. But then you always have to evaluate your intervention. So while evaluating ours, we discovered that we were only impacting the performance of high-performing students. So what happened to the underperforming students? What did we do wrong? Where did we get it wrong? So I guess in answering this question, we decided that we had to actually change our approach. So in changing our approach, or I would say in resetting our approach, I learned 3 major lessons I'm going to be sharing with you all today. So lesson number 1 is never ever make the decision to quit under stress. So people often say, wow, it's easier said than done. I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm fatigued, I put in so much work into this is not working out as planned. And I totally understand because I was that person. Because I'm like, wow, I finally summoned the courage to do this thing I've always wanted to do, and I'm failing at it. I already have a wonderful team of people on board, and I'm also failing them. So that actually made me feel like I guess I should just quit right now. It's still at the initial stages. Maybe I'm never going to get expected results. But then I always tell people, like, that feeling to quit most often is a false feeling that is born out of stress or failure. So most times, just take a break. Go do something fun. Get friends together, have fun, you know, go on an adventure. But please try not to do something too crazy, because we still need you alive to be able to achieve your goal, right? So yeah, so I often tell people, take a break. So after taking a break and coming back to it, I figured that quitting was definitely not an option. I actually wanted to do this, and I was just stressed at that point. So fine, I finally figured out, okay, I wasn't going to quit. So which brings me to lesson number 2. So I'm not going to quit, but then I'm faced with this problem, right? So how do I go about this problem? So make sure you're critically analyzing the problem or the solution. Or no, let me not say the solution yet. So just critically analyze the problem you have or the situation at hand. So I often ask myself, like, how do I do that? So are you asking the right questions? Do you need to change your strategy or your approach? Like, do you need a new pair of eyes? Do you need to seek advice? Now, listen to advice, but learn to filter them, because everyone always has an opinion on what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing. So learn to filter the advice you're receiving. But then for us, we figured out that we needed to actually change our approach. So instead of just going into the communities and asking what are the barriers to quality education, how can we provide quality education, we decided just to learn about the community. So hearing the stories of the students, you know, the teachers, you know, the experiences they had with the educational system, their challenges and what have you, we discovered that there was actually a wide array of problems. So definitely, resource was still part of the problem, but that was just one part. So we decided that, wow, in order to fix this problem, we actually needed a multifaceted approach to be able to address this wide array of problems. So in actually figuring out that solution, it wasn't easy, because it meant we had to start afresh. We had to change a lot of things, which brings me to my 3rd lesson. When you figure it out, it's not always going to be easy sometimes. It might be something more difficult than what you actually set out to do initially. But I often tell people, just do it afraid. Now, I know everyone always says, try to overcome your fear, but if you're anything like me, that might actually take a long time for you to accomplish. So in that moment where you feel like, wow, I guess I'm going to fail again, or maybe I'm going to encounter a challenge that is way bigger than me or my ability to solve it, just forget about that and just do it afraid. So I think what is most interesting is the fact that when we figured out that we needed a new approach or a new solution, it was a $100,000 project. And here we were, a small NGO who hadn't even raised above $10,000. And I'm very Nigerian, so my expression was something like, chai, now who sent me message? So for my non-Nigerian friends, it means, wow, no one actually asked me to do this. I figured I wanted to do this on my own, so I'm definitely going to have to deal with this. So the project actually hasn't been fully completed, like we're still in the process, but it's been in existence for 1 year now. So we have a multi-purpose educational resource center to cater to many of those children in this community. And in the past 1 year, we've actually started to see expected results. So just in January, a parent excitedly told me that his son's mathematics teacher called him and was asking him, what tutorial are you sending your child to? And this was because he noticed like such a huge improvement in such a short time frame, and also wanted to recommend the tutorial to other students who were underperforming in his class. So yay, we're finally seeing expected results, right? But it didn't come easy. So one thing I always, kind of like tell people as well is, sometimes when you're critically analyzing your problem, you actually have to be true to yourself and the vision. So failure doesn't always come packaged in no results or no impact. Sometimes it comes packaged in success in the wrong direction. So for us, it was like we weren't failing, actually. We were actually impacting a certain cohort of students, which were the high-performing students. But that wasn't the reason why we set out to start Kane initially. We wanted to make sure that even the underperforming students had quality education to be able to make a life for themselves. So really, be true to yourself and your vision. So I know I've talked for a long time now, and I don't expect you to remember everything I've said. Trust me, I don't take any offense. But then I want you to remember 3 main points. First, Never quit under stress. Take a break and come back to it. Lesson number 2, critically analyze the problem and make sure you're true to yourself and the vision. And last but not the least, no matter how daunting the task might be or the new project or starting afresh might be, just go ahead and do it afraid. Thank you.